Hey guys, this is Autumn from A Teen's Mind, and I'm going to be talking with my mom. This is our official first episode of Gen Z on Retro TV, and we're going to be talking about the first episode of the original Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and comparing that to the first episode of the reboot.
Bel-Air.
Right. So with the first one, I actually, for anyone who's seen it, it's a lot more funnier. It has the actual Will Smith in it, and I feel like, it has, like, that storyline, about, like, a guy who has to move, who's from Philly, who moves to, LA with, his extended family. But it's a lot more funnier, and then the reboot, I feel like, is a lot more darker for anyone who, wants to see it. It's just my 2 cents on that. And, Mom, do you want to say anything?
So, Autumn has always been around her dad and I and watching some shows from our generation, and honestly some shows before our generation, and so I was born in the very late 70s, so my generation of growing up around her age, it was like the 90s, mid 90s, and I watched a lot of things from the 80s, and I just thought like our sitcoms and our shows were really good and just good for someone like her to watch. And I just wanted her to always have like that perspective of what I did as her age and her age group. So she really took to some of the stuff that I grew up watching and really liked it. And so why not continue? So then there's so many things that are out that are being rebooted, number one. And number two, there's just a lot that I think is just good TV and just good things for her to watch since she's interested in entertainment a little bit. So, that's one of the things that we did. And so I can't even tell you all the stuff that she's watched. We'll go through it if this becomes something that we're doing, reviewing, and just, she's a Gen Zer. So this is her perspective on, what she thinks about the retro TV, and it's retro for her. Sorry, my phone's ringing. I'm going to quiet that down. But so she's going to talk a little bit about Fresh Prince. Fresh Prince, the original sitcom, came out in 1993, I believe. And I was just starting 9th grade. Right now, Autumn is a 10th grader. So I thought that was a really good one to start with. I watched the first episode of the reboot Bel-Air, and I haven't really formed an opinion, and so I will keep watching, and we'll talk about it a little bit later as we get a little bit more used to seeing the new version. But the original Fresh Prince of Bel-Air I thought was really funny, and I wanted her to see it. So all right, she's going to talk about what she thinks about comparing the two.
So, like I said, with the recent one that came out, I feel like the character of the rich girl, Whitney, I believe her name is, she's a lot more nicer in the reboot to Will than she is in the original one. Like, I feel like in the original one, they made her more stuck up, and she was kind of, like, in her own place. And, like, in both of the shows, like, they're a rich family. But she's a lot more, like, welcoming to him in this one than she is in the one that came out in the 90s. So I think that was really interesting.
Hillary.
Okay, yeah, Hillary.
His cousin.
It's like Whitney. Like, I was thinking of a different show.
She is totally mixing things because one of the shows she loves is
A Different World.
A Different World. So she's thinking about Whitley from A Different World.
But yeah, like
their characters are actually kind of,
they're pretty alike.
Yeah.
Like the rich girl who's kind of like in her own world that a lot of people might not really like. But I do think that was like an interesting thing that they included. I still have more to watch of the old show. Like I said, I'm just comparing the first episodes of both of them. However,
we're gonna adjust this a little bit. Oops, I'm sorry.
However, I kind of think that that's pretty interesting. And like I said, I think that the transition between, like, I feel like in the old show, he, like, was it explained how he came to visit them in the old show? I thought it was like he was just like sent there to his extended family. Like in the new one, he got into a big fight, and his mom, instead of like him getting arrested, she sent him to live with his other family. So that was kind of what was different I feel like in the old show,
I mean,
like,
the entire theme song addresses why. It's the same thing.
oh, so he got into a fight in that one. Like,
Yeah, and West
oh, okay.
Philadelphia,
I mean,
born and raised.
I guess I wasn't like
That's where
listening
most
to
of my
like the
days,
whole
yeah.
thing because it's such a catchy song. I wasn't like,
chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool and all, shooting some b-ball outside of school. When a couple of guys who were up to no good. Oh no! Started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fight. My mom got scared. She said, "I'm moving to Shazzy and Uncle Bel-Air." Yeah, like that's
so yeah, that's basically. But like what my mom said. You know, I love the theme song to that. But yeah, I guess the same thing happened there. But in like the more modern show.
Oh, sorry.
In the more modern show, I guess they did a more like they actually showed what happened, whereas in the 90s version he just rapped about it. So that's I guess what made it a little more dark. Like I guess it was only like mentioned, and in this one they actually showed you. So that was pretty interesting. I never really knew how he got sent to be with his family. I guess I never like listened, so now I know. But, you know, I'm really getting into this show, and, like, you know, I've been hearing about the reboot. Some guy at my job actually brought it up. He was like, Autumn, did you see the reboot of Fresh Prince? And I was like, no, I actually heard from some people that it was, like, pretty good. So, but yeah, and then my mom convinced me to see it and give it a try.
Yeah.
And I really thought, like, I don't know why, but before I saw the reboot, I didn't know that, like, the main character was going to be named Will Smith again. I guess I should have known that, just knowing, like, some of the work he does. But, like, I would have thought that, like, I don't know, it might have had a different name, but that's actually kind of cool. Like, I think the actor who plays him it's a pretty good, well modern, like, Bel-Air. I didn't know, I should have known this, but I didn't know, like, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like, it was Bel-Air, California. I thought Bel-Air was, like, just the school he went to. I didn't know that was, like,
oh yeah,
the name
town.
of the town.
Yeah.
I thought it was, I don't know.
Yeah, it's totally the area or town or township or whatever.
Yeah, you can show your face more.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how much I'm gonna like this whole drama thing.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen a lot of it. I've seen the first, and I'm not even sure I saw the entire first episode. I just kind of saw the introduction to all the characters, and I was just like, oh, this is kind of interesting. And I'm in some Facebook groups that review TV shows, and I have been reading a lot of comments, and I probably shouldn't because they're total spoilers, but I don't know if I'm going to like it, but I'm going to give it a shot. The whole comedy thing sold me. The drama part, I don't know about that. And I'm hearing that it's like really dark, like, you know, so we'll see. But yeah, about, you know, like in that first episode, they did kind of go into detail about the fight and everything. And it was like really like outline, right?
Yeah.
Like they showed you. That does not happen in the comedy, but throughout the episode, especially when you first meet his mom, and you don't meet his mom right away. Mm-hmm. When his mom comes to California to visit, they do go back and forth about some of the stuff that happened in Philly. And then he also goes to Philly. Like, he visits Philly in a couple episodes. So you get to see, like, it's like a back and forth kind of thing. And it's not immediate because they establish him in Bel-Air first. And then, like, you see the Philly stuff come in.
Right. So I'm not too, like, familiar, or just, like, I'm not too grounded with all the names. Like, I knew the names. But the brother who, like, is the brother, like the older brother of the extended family, who is
Carlton,
like,
his
Carlton.
age. Yeah,
he's
his peer.
Right.
Yeah.
So in the older, thank you for joining new. It's one of my followers. But like in the older like version of the show, I feel like he was kind of stuck up, like your typical like rich kid. But he was still kind of, like, approachable, where in, like, the modern one, it seems like he knows that Will is, like, different from them. He knows that he didn't grow up, like, around them. And he's, like, it's almost like he's trying to look for something, like, about him to, like, dish out. Like, he's trying to find something about. It's very dark, like my mom said. And they're trying to make it, like, I think less comedic and more, like, drama-like. So I definitely think that that's, like, something that...
Well... In the old show, you gotta watch more.
Yeah.
In the old show, he definitely deals with, like, this. They become complete siblings. Like, you definitely see the rivalry. You see them, you see them discuss, like, just that whole meshing as a brother type of thing. And I believe they're in the same grade and the same age, and so that's what really gets you know, it going. So
yeah, I think that the series did a really good job of like pulling you in as a viewer and wanting you to like find out more. And you know, I'm gonna like keep doing this. Like, I'm probably gonna just compare like the next couple episodes of both shows because I think it's really cool. And the younger girl that looks up to him, Ashley, I think in both shows they did a really good job. I think in the 90s version she's really adorable. In this version she's also very, like, I like her character. She's bubbly. She kind of reminds me like of me in a way. Like, I feel like I would really get along with someone like Will. I think he's really cool.
And to have as a big cousin, who becomes like a brother.
Yeah, I think that'll be like, she's just really cool. So and she's never, I don't think like either show she's like really that stuck up. I feel like they're just like raised a certain way, and you can see that by the way they dress and the way they act and like the people that their parents hang around. But like, I really like how despite all that she doesn't treat him any differently. So, you know, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I think she just kind of wants to she likes his background. She likes the fact that he's cool. He's from a different place. He's from the East Coast. And, you know, she wants to, like, vibe with him, I think, you know. So, he's, like, a nice addition to their family. So, anyway, we're going to end that right here. We will review another show on the next installment of
Gen Z on Retro TV, so please stay tuned for that, and I'm so excited for the next episode. I will keep you guys updated on that. You can follow me at A Teen's Mind on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I also, there's my YouTube channel. I don't have any, like, videos on it yet, but we will be working on that. We're uploading this to the YouTube channel. Sorry for that confusion, but yeah. So I really enjoyed this, and have a nice day, everybody.
Bye-bye. Okay, how do we end this?